am in the unique position where a lot of people care about my opinions about Pokémon. And since Legend CA recently introduced a bunch of new Mega Evolutions, I thought it was a good opportunity for me to provide my opinions on them, along with all the old ones. This is my ranking of every Mega Evolution worst to best, based on whatever I want. I've divided my list into 3 zones. We'll call them red, yellow, and green. Red will include megas I actively dislike. Yellow will be the ones that I am generally neutral toward, and green will be the ones that I like. We'll start with the red zone. Good thing for a football offense, bad thing for a Mega Evolution. Mega Aerodactyl sucks so much. The rock spikes being slapped on look awkward and boring, but also the ones on its chin give it a terribly tacky goatee. This is not the ugliest Mega. Some of the ones I'll talk about later I consider to be uglier, but at least with those, they took a swing and just missed. Mega Aerodactyl is the worst Mega because it doesn't look like they even put a moment of thought into it. Mega Mewtwo Y looks gross. The head tail revolts me, and the carrying handle looks stupid. Mega Swampert makes me so angry. Swampert is one of the best starters ever made, but its Mega turns into some roided up freak that skips leg day. It's like it fell into a vat of toxic waste, but instead of getting superpowers, it turned it into an abomination. Mega Pyroar looks completely ridiculous and not in a fun way. I know that its mane is supposed to look like the kanji for blaze, while male regular Pyroars looks like the kanji for fire, but just because it's clever doesn't mean it's not ugly. Mega Gyarados is a tragic disappointment. Gyarados' serpentine shape is what makes it so iconic and fearsome, a cross between a Chinese dragon and a sea serpent. So why did they turn it into a blob that looks like it has no maneuverability? Plus, Dark type? Are you kidding me? It should have been Dragon, but if you're not gonna give it Dragon, at least let it keep flying. Mega Salamence has 2 major flaws that make me dislike it. The first is the stubby legs. It's supposed to be this incredibly vicious monster, but it looks like a little baby tucking its bean arms into its pajamas. All 4 legs look like Fuecoco's arms. Second, the croissant wings, or just wing, singular, looks absurd. It works on Roaring Moon because it is intricate, with feathers and varying colors. Mega Salamence's looks like someone cut a circle out of a plastic dinner plate, then slapped it on Salamence's back. Mega Eternal Flower Floette would be neutral for me, except I really hate how the flower connects to its body. It looks like either an umbilical cord or an intestine, and both gross me out. I respect what they tried to do with Mega Excadrill, but it just looks so uncomfortable. Like the animal looks unhappy. Instead of sleek and speedy, it looks awkward. This tweet points out that it could be because it's standing too upright. Regular Excadrill hunches or leans forward, making it look more agile. Mega Mewtwo X is significantly better than its counterpart, but I still think it looks kind of gross. I guess Mewtwo kind of always did. You know, it is a scientific experiment gone wrong, but they didn't overdo it. Its Mega Evolutions take the theme of scientific abomination too far. Mega Aggron is uglier Aggron, which is a huge shame. Regular Aggron is one of the coolest Pokemon out there, but Mega Aggron's dramatic head change makes it look like a totally different Pokemon, and a worse one. Mega Zygarde is too Digimon for my taste. Many things in Pokemon are absurd, but Zygarde getting naked and turning its clothes into a cannon twice as big as itself surpasses my personal tolerance for absurdity. Like, what do you mean we finally got Z version, but also gun version in the same game? Mega Darkrai doesn't look like a Pokemon anymore. It's a horrific monster well suited for a boss fight, much like the Ganons in Breath of the Wild. But Pokemon are supposed to be your friends. And you can't make friends with Thunderblight Ganon. You're supposed to kill that guy. And Mega Darkrai looks like something I'm supposed to kill. Maybe I'm too squeamish, but the head birthing out of the eye in the final battle was just too disturbing for me. Are we serious? Also, it's way slower than regular Darkrai? No one likes it when Megas get slower. Mega Scizor would be a cool Mega, but it has a major fatal flaw. Its arms and legs don't look functional. They lengthened its pincers at the expense of its arms. It has no elbows anymore. Therefore, it looks super dorky trying to swing those big pincers around. Its legs have the same problem. While I know they hinge where the black meets the red, the thigh to calf ratio is all out of whack. So it looks like it should be waddling around like a pirate with 2 peg legs. Mega Raichu Y is not a Mega Raichu. It is a Mega Pikachu. It's just a recolored Pikachu with goofy looking horns and Raichu's tail. I know Pikachu's the mascot and all, but come on. Mega Raichu X is a solid way to give a nod to Pikachu while still clearly being a Raichu. Y is not only not a Raichu, it looks weird. I don't like the horns. This Pokemon should fall over. I was going to put Mega Scovillain up in the green zone because I really like how the pepper seeds became horns, and bonus points for them being unique on each head. But then I noticed the high collar and hot pepper tie, like it's about to attend a wedding. Even the coolest parts of it cannot overcome how incredibly stupid this is. I know it's Scovillain, so this could be a reference to like cartoon villains, for example, but I don't care. It was a cool 2-headed dragon, and now it's wearing a tie. And a tacky one at that! Mega Camerup's Volcano looks really nice, but its goofy skirt and forehead M dock it enough points to end up as a net negative. And what kind of loser would wear an M on their forehead? If this is not your first time hearing me make that joke and you have still not subscribed to my channel, I feel like you have to at this point. You've been watching long enough. John, aka PM7, ruined Mega Heracross for me. I never thought much of it until he referred to it as a garden gnome. And now I can't unsee it. I'd like it much more if its nose horn was simply moved higher up, so it had 2 head horns instead. Haha, it is I, Grunty Boy. What's got you so grumpy? You! Still salty about last night. Oh, you mean when I trounced you in Disney Speedstorm, the sponsor of this video? Disney Speedstorm is a thrilling racing game that's free to play everywhere, console, PC, and mobile. In the game, zoom through vibrant tracks inspired by iconic Disney and Pixar worlds, all while driving as fan-favorite racers, each with their own unique skill. There's a variety of game modes and a ton of customization options, and I think the game is a blast. The high speeds of the races are exactly what I'm looking for. My personal favorite racer is Elizabeth Swan. Her unique skill, Jade Captain's Knot, is a really useful dash. Oh, and of course she helped me beat you. You? We are playing again tonight! The new update is out, and we need to try it. Judy, Nick, and Flash from Zootopia have been introduced to the game to celebrate the release of Zootopia 2. We also need to try out the new Zootopia map. Sounds great. My place for split-screen local multiplayer or an online custom lobby. Man, crossplay and cross-save, so convenient. Your place. Defeat tastes vile, but that pizza place you have nearby does not. It's very delicious. Oh, also, we need to try out the new speedrun event in partnership with speedrun.com and get all the goodies from it. From December 19th to 27th, you can play Escape Suspect Time, a Zootopia-themed speedrun challenge where players act as ZPD officers chasing down a priority suspect. Solo speedrun across 10 tracks and play as Judy or Nick. There's even an exciting cash prize. Awesome, can't wait. Download Disney Speedstorm on whichever platform you prefer by using the link in the description below or by scanning the QR code on screen. And you can use the code on screen to redeem some in-game items. Thanks so much to Gameloft for sponsoring this video. All right, well, I'm gonna head out now. While you're still stuck here filming this video, I'm gonna warm up for our races. Ta-ta! The next Mega Evolution is one that is in the code of the game, but at the time of making this video has not yet been officially revealed. It's likely to get distributed through Mystery Gift in the near future. I'm still gonna talk about it because I did say every Mega, but if you want to remain unspoiled, you can skip to this timestamp to avoid its section. Mega Garchomp Z isn't what I hoped for. I think regular Mega Garchomp is more interesting because of the more dramatic changes. Now, I don't despise the design choices for Garchomp Z. I think it's fair to make it more obvious that Garchomp can fly. But any good thing about it is canceled out by the fact that it loses its ground type and ends up with stronger special attack than physical. What? What are we doing here? We're losing the essence of Garchomp, even though this is the Mega Garchomp that looks more similar to the base form. I don't really hate Mega Audino's design, but it's in the red zone because to this day, I cannot understand why out of all the incredible Gen 5 Pokemon, it was the only one to get a Mega in Gen 6. Also, it's a support Mega, which is not good. You don't want that. Very strange decision making in that entire process. Mega Manectric is a bit much. I don't despise it, hence why it's here at the end of the red zone, but the lightning fur makes it look like it's encased in plastic and lost the lithe dog body it had before. Sure, it can run fast in a straight line. Like, how is this thing turning any corners?
Turn! Okay. Turn! Turn! I don't think we can turn anymore.
I really like that they made Mega Meganium fairy type, but the flowers engulfing its entire neck just look uncomfortable, like it cannot bend its neck at all. It reminds me of those ridiculous Victorian England throat poof things. They're a fine design feature, just not when there's like 6 of them preventing a long neck dinosaur from moving its neck. Pedro Luferson posted his own design for Mega Meganium on my subreddit, and I feel his is significantly better. It amplifies the neck flower in a different way while still allowing Meganium to look capable of swinging its head around. And now we move to the yellow zone. Megas I'm mostly neutral toward. Maybe a small critique here and there, some good pieces balancing out some bad ones, or maybe just a good design for a Pokemon I personally don't really care for. Mega Dragonite is fine. I don't hate it like some people do, I just think the head wings look a little goofy. The rounded feathers give it a look of globby fingers, and I think they'd be better pointed. It ends up in the yellow zone because while I think it looks a bit odd in the games, most fan art I've seen of it looks fantastic, so it overall balances out. Mega Diancie is a mixed bag for me. I've always been apathetic about Diancie, but I think turning its crystals into a dress is clever. But then the wedding dress veil appendages are kinda odd. In short, I'm just not the target audience for this Pokemon. Mega Medicham is a fine design, I've just never really been a Medicham fan. Mega Chimecho is similar. I think it's a solid design for Chimecho, and I like the Chingling reference. Chimecho is just a pretty forgettable Pokemon, so its Mega is too. Mega Feraligatr is in a Typhlosion situation. Remember how when they moved from 2D to 3D, Typhlosion stopped having its flames constantly burning in battle? Because of that, for a while, Typhlosion looked kinda rough. But when they finally put the flames back, Typhlosion instantly looked better in 3D. Mega Feraligator's overall design and Totodile hood look cool, but the hood sticking up straight most of the time does not. It's like it's trying to catch bugs in Animal Crossing. If it instead held the hood at more of an angle, casting a shadow over its head, Mega Feraligatr would be up in the green zone. And I know it's supposed to be a dorsal fin, like on a Dimetrodon, but again, just because it's clever doesn't mean it's not ugly. Mega Latios and Latias are fine designs, I just wish they looked a bit more different from each other. Mega Scrafty is fine. My main gripe is that it looks like it changed clothes, not that it got stronger in any way. But that's a minor gripe, so here we are. Mega Metagross is a bit much and does not look better than regular Metagross. But Metagross is one of the coolest Pokemon ever made, so neutral overall it is. Mega Tyranitar is really just Tyranitar with more spikes added. So it doesn't blow me away, but I don't think it looks horrible. Mega Gardevoir just has a bigger dress. This is fine, but uninteresting. Mega Zeraora is really just a color scheme change. It's solidly cool, but I think its target audience is much younger than me. Mega Lopunny is okay. I like that it gained the fighting type and scrappy, but I just never cared much about Lopunny. Mega Barbaracle is insane. While I don't really like Barbaracle, I respect the scariness of its Mega enough to have it here. Mega Golisopod is kinda boring. I don't think it's bad, but they really just gave it metal armor, extra arms, and a longer beard. It's definitely not ugly, especially since Golisopod was cool to begin with, but I do think it looks mildly worse and thus isn't all that interesting to me. Mega Starmie may be the most polarizing Mega of all of them. People seem to love it or hate it, nothing in between. Except for me. I'm in between. At first I thought it was horrible, but seeing it running around or kicking people has caused me to appreciate its absurdity, lifting it up to the middle. I appreciate the idea of Mega Ampharos. Bringing back some of its wool is a smart thing to do for the sheep Pokemon that was sheared. However, the hair looks a bit absurd, like Fabio. So my appreciation for the idea is canceled out by its silliness that just doesn't really hit for me. Mega Sharpedo is fine. I'd like it more if it had more teeth in its mouth, to be clear. I know that it has some on its nose. I would like Mega Houndoom more if it was a permanent evolution, because I feel Houndoom needed one. Fine design though, but really just another add more spikes Mega. I feel the same about Mega Mawile. The design is solid, but Mawile needed something permanent. I have a bit more sentimental attachment to Mega Mawile though. The only VGC tournament I've ever competed in was the 2014 Houston Regionals, and I finished like 24th out of over 250 people, and I had a Mega Mawile on that team. Mega Blastoise is all right. I like the one huge cannon, but the little arm cannons look a bit silly. I also hate that it has Mega Launcher, a far worse ability than the other Kanto starter Megas. Mega Glalie looks terrifying, which I respect, but the fact that its mouth never shuts is a bit lame in my opinion. I'm sure there's a good reason for it, but it's simply less scary knowing it cannot chomp down on things. Mega Chandelure makes sense. It is more Chandelier. I can understand it, while also not thinking it looks better than regular Chandelure. Mega Baxcalibur isn't that much different from the regular form, but I do like that it now looks impaled by a sword. I don't like it enough to put it up in the green zone, but still kinda cool. Mega Altaria is a solid design. I'm just not a massive Altaria fan. I dig the Dragon Fairy typing though, and I'd like to see some permanent Pokemon with that type. Mega Lucario Z is fine. I like the new face mask style and the change to blunt steel spots, but the hair tendrils look a bit odd and really do make it look like what everyone says, Hatsune Miku. Nothing against her, it's just a little odd on the Lucario. Mega Abomasnow is solid. It really looks like Abomasnow getting overgrown and over-iced, and thus much stronger. But it's not amazing, and like some others I mentioned, I kinda wish it had been permanent. As I said before, Mega Raichu X is clearly Pikachu fan service, but it still looks like Raichu, so I can accept it. Mega Alakazam is solid and a good progression for Alakazam, but my goodness, that's just so many spoons. Mega Absol is a bit too emo/goth for my taste. Personally, I never had a scene phase, but I will say, I like the angel angle they went with it. Angel angle, that's kind of fun to say. And now finally, the green zone. I simply like these Megas and have minimal criticisms, if any at all. I've never really cared for Glamora, but I do like Mega Glamora because moving parts are always cool. They're a design aspect that simply wasn't possible in older games. Crabominable is infamous for being ugly, and I do agree with that general opinion. But I gotta say, Mega Crabominable almost totally fixed that problem. Improving the haircut and turning the eyes into white voids was a great way to change it from a dork into a berserking beast. And a very strong one. We all probably lost that side mission where you fight two of them at the same time. Oh, crap! Mega Lucario is battle-scarred Lucario. It's not that different, but Lucario was cool to begin with. I feel the same way about Mega Blaziken. It's mostly a lateral move from regular Blaziken, but since I already really liked Blaziken, it's hard to dislike this similar Mega. Mega Tatsugiri is pretty silly, but what I like most is that depending on the original Tatsugiri, the Mega changes to put a different one in the center, with a fun little captain's hat of Tobiko. It's pretty cute. I've never really been a fan of Magearna, but the choices they made for Mega Magearna are so smart that I had to put it up here. The original colors and orbiting gears are obviously great, but I also really respect the subtle angling of the eyes. What a smart way to take it from a dainty lady to a scary combatant. Mega Slowbro is stupid, but it's good stupid. Megas can either be over the top, edgy, and cool, or they can be silly. And while some silly ones whiff, I don't think Slowbro does. Just look at its face. It's so concerned, and yet it's just hanging out. Mega Heatran is crazy, and I can't believe they did it. It's creepy in a good way, just simply too damn hot to hold its body together. I like the choice to keep its mouth hung slack open so you can see the pure heat within. I know I criticized Mega Glalie for a similar thing, but it works better for Heatran because it looks like it should blast you, not bite you. I love Staraptor, so it should come as no surprise that I like Mega Staraptor. While I think its design is solid, particularly those striking eyes, what I really like is that it gets fighting type. The original close combat Pokemon finally gets stab for it. It's just so beautiful. Mega Bayonet may be terrible in battle, but I am not a competitive battler. I suck at predicting other people's behaviors, just across the board. Therefore, it's easy for me to overlook that and just focus on the fact that unzipping itself to allow evil ghost energy to flow out and form claws is super cool. Also, its boss fight in ZA was my favorite in the whole game. Mega Kangaskhan may have ruined VGC for a few years, but I didn't play VGC other than that one tournament. So I didn't really have to worry about it that much. Instead, I can just admire how clever it is to have the kid grow up and fight. Mega Garchomp is completely insane, and I respect it for that. They created the most monstrous Pokemon ever. Hell yeah. Also, I've gained a recent appreciation for it. I used it on my team to reach rank K in the first season of the ZA Online battling thing to get my Greninjite. And the last one I did, my Mega Garchomp got 3, maybe 4 kills in the last 30 seconds and won me the battle and catapulted me past K all the way to J. I wish Mega Sableye was a permanent evolution, and while I've docked other Megas for that prior in this video, Mega Sableye's design is so fun that I still like it. This little gremlin hiding behind its giant gem and then taunting you through it like it's a funhouse window instead of a mirror is so fun. Mega Clefable's little fairy wings growing into huge ones is brilliant. I love that 30 years ago, Clefable wasn't even fairy type, and now its Mega is the most fairy-looking fairy Pokemon of them all. Other than maybe Rabombi. Pidgeot was already pretty cool, and Mega Pidgeot is Pidgeot with a new hairstyle. I think it's stylish, other than the rat tail. I also like the blue wingtips a lot. When I first saw Mega Electros, I thought it was solid, but then I noticed the mouths on the false electric alternating between minus and plus symbols, like positive and negative charge or the ends of a battery, and that catapulted it up into green for me. That's really cool. Mega Meowstic's split coloration is clearly a clever way to design only one form for both male and female Meowstic, but it looks cool, so it works out. I especially love that its eyes are different colors. That is pretty spooky when it attacks. Mega Pinsir is over the top edgy, but it was already a pretty scary looking Pokemon, so I like that they full sent it. Also, it flies now! Go Team Sky! Mega Dragalge is really cool. I love the ears, for lack of a better word, and the kelp seed, I think, antenna are a really nice touch. Mega Malamar is horrifying, which is exactly what it should be. The slowly rotating hypnotic tentacles are such a nice touch. The neon trails they leave are so cool, and it's one of those design features that wouldn't work in older games. And I like when they take advantage of modern tech in their designs. Mega Drampaw is brilliant. The combo of turning its cloudy parts stormy and surging it with youthful energy turns Drampaw from a Pokemon I never cared much for into one that I'd love to use at some point. Mega Venusaur isn't complicated, but not all Megas have to be. The extra vegetation looks natural, and I love that they gave it thick fat. Mega Greninja's helicopter shuriken looks a bit silly, but damn, that new mask on his face makes an already cool Pokemon even sleeker. I never really liked Emboar, but I would have if it looked like Mega Emboar the whole time. This design does an excellent job of solving Emboar's main faults, looking like it's missing a head and looking awkward on 2 feet. The larger fire collar blends its face with the body better, and Mega Emboar looks like it belongs in Kung Fu Panda. In other words, it looks good on 2 feet. The Chinese influences are more prominent, which I like a lot, and the Staff of Fire is so fun. I like Mega Absol Z more than regular Mega Absol. Now, I'll admit, I may not like it as much as I do if original Mega Absol wasn't there for me to compare the new one to. But turning Absol Z demonic to contrast with regular Mega Absol's angelic appearance is really cool, and I love that terrifying demon hand. Plus, it's always fun to see another dark ghost type. With its stats and just one weakness, I think Mega Absol Z could be a real threat. Mega Beedrill amps up Beedrill in the perfect way. The angularity of its entire anatomy perfectly communicates its absurd speed, and I really like it despite hating wasps in real life. Mega Gengar is great. I love how it's constantly phasing through, well, everything, and it does a good job of making Gengar even more menacing. I've always liked Scolipede, and they nailed Mega Scolipede. Whirlipede shell armor and Vaporwave venom? I mean, what more could you want? I've never really cared for Delphox. I hated it back in the day, but now I generally feel it's whatever. But Mega Delphox is fantastic. The Firefox Witch Pokemon turns its burning wands into brooms, and it surfs on one of them, and its fur turns dark like a classic witch's robe. Absolutely brilliant series of choices at all opportunities, other than preventing us from using it right when the game launched. Mega Chestnut is excellent. They took the Armored Knight theme and amplified it perfectly. The fact that it can remove a shoulder pad to use it at the end of a mace is so sick. But again, it would have been nice if I could have used it. Gallade has always been one of my favorite Pokemon. Mega Gallade is Gallade with a cape and bigger dueling discs. So, of course, I still think it's cool. Mega Frostlass may be the scariest Pokemon ever, and I love it. Frostlass's lore has always been scary, taking people to its lair as frozen trophies, but it kind of contrasts with the fact that Frostlass is generally pretty cute. But Mega Frostlass actually looks like that terrifying ice woman of death. It's fantastic. Mega Steelix is really fun. The crystals look pretty sweet, but my favorite thing about it is the orbiting metal flakes. It reminds me of Aang in the Avatar state at the end of the series, and it's such a cool design aspect that we don't really see anywhere else. Except we actually do, Mega Glamora and Magearna. I filmed most of this video before the DLC. Mega Hawlucha makes me smile. It really is the perfect way to enhance Hawlucha. Make it even more of a show-off. I've never watched wrestling personally, but when I learned that the new mask could be a nod to Rey Mysterio, I was very pleased and amused. Mega Victory Bell is awesome, and I will fight anyone who says otherwise. In a Pokemon battle, not gonna be violent, don't worry. It is stupid and silly, and that can absolutely work, especially because it's not actually stupid, it's clever. Too much acid, so it swells up and has to tie itself shut, and now it bounces around? That's super creative, and creative megas tend to be the best ones. Speaking of creative megas, Mega Golurk is exactly what Mega Golurk should be. The energy stored within it has escaped, giving it wings that make it more clear that it can fly. I also love the subtle yet brilliant touch of the spirals on its shoulders and hands going dark, since the energy isn't inside it anymore. Had I encountered it any sooner than the last episode of my entire ZA playthrough, I would have used it. I already liked Golurk anyway. Mega Rayquaza is ridiculously cool, and I think few would disagree with me. Rayquaza is my favorite legendary, and it was before Team Sky, so I'm pretty happy it got such an insane powered up form. Look at those tassels, so majestic. I loved Mega Skarmory the instant I saw it. For many years, I have preached that the grass type should have been called the plant type because it's more accurate, and that the steel type should have been called the metal type. I want to see more steel type Pokemon representing metals that are not steel, like copper or gold. So I was overwhelmed by delighted shock when I saw Mega Skarmory. Sure, it's not the first gold steel type, but it's the first in Gen 2, meaning it's a Johto Pokemon that starts silver, then turns gold. It's perfect. Also, all the various pointy parts, very tasteful. I am putting both Mega Charizards together because I love them equally. Okay, if I have to put one a little above the other, I think Y's a little above X right now, but it depends on the day. Initially, Mega Charizard X was one of my favorite Pokemon, period. Black and blue is one of my favorite color schemes, and Charizard finally turning Dragon type made me feel like a 1,000-year curse had been lifted. However, recently I've gained an appreciation for Mega Charizard Y that has put it on the same level as its counterpart. While X is a fun twist on Charizard, Y is a well-done amplification, making it sleeker and broadening its imposing wings. Additionally, it is stronger and easier to use. Changing from a special attacker to physical can make X a bit awkward, while Y just simply nukes things. And I enjoy OHKOing enemy Pokemon as much as the next guy. Mega Sceptile is the Mega Evolution for my favorite Pokemon, so it was always gonna be high on this list. Well, okay, I guess that's not guaranteed. If they'd given it the Swampert treatment, that would have made me even angrier than Mega Swampert does. But instead, they made my first starter look more fearsome and stronger. And the fact that it can now fire off its tail is super fun. Also, I like that it's Dragon type. This arguably makes it worse, you know, with all the weaknesses and stuff. But dragons are cool. And now, finally, the greatest Mega Evolution ever made, Mega Phalanx. Whoever designed this Pokemon deserves a Nobel Prize. First, let me talk about regular Phalanx. It is inspired by the ancient Greek war formation, the Phalanx, and making a Pokemon from that is so creative and interesting. But what makes Phalanx one of my all-time favorites, I ranked it number 10 in my top 100 favorite Pokemon video, is the juxtaposition of this violent origin with how darn cute it is. Its signature move is no retreat, as in, I kill you or die trying. But this epic battle cry is called by adorable little war Kirby's. Like, what? That's hilarious. And then its Mega amplifies every aspect in an absurdly perfect way. How do you evolve combat teamwork? Become more than a team. Combine your bodies like your frickin' Voltron. They took an ancient war formation and merged it with sci-fi mecha media. That is insanely clever, and then all the little details make this Pokemon a divine being. The waist is always making this strained facial expression as it holds up the rest of the body. The legs do this sometimes too. It is so cute. And then as it moves around, it's not stepping with each foot guy. They're taking extremely fast little tiny steps with their own little feet. I cannot handle it. It's too adorable. In my ZA playthrough, I was very fond of Boys the Heracross, but as soon as I saw Eeyore's Mega Phalanx, I knew I had to have one of my own. This is the perfect Mega Evolution, an enhancement of an already fantastic Pokemon that is somehow cute, cool, and extremely creative. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear me talk about my own opinions on a bunch of Pokemon some more, then check out my top 100 favorite Pokemon.